I think we talked before we got on air about your band has gone through a couple different rosters and so forth. So
Mm.
can you tell me a little bit about who's in your band, where they from, and who makes up the band and
There
so
was a
forth?
quote that Bob Marley had, and I don't mean to be cliche and quote Bob, but Bob said, "Yo," he said, first you want to find people that want to play music with you, and when you find people that play music with you and want to play music with you, then you can play music." It sounds very simple,
Yeah.
but the mantra that I didn't know what it meant. I'm like, I'm keep going through changes, especially as a fledgling musician and someone trying to move up in the ranks
Hmm.
in an area that it isn't. You know what I mean? There's no scene here, and you're trying to carve out a scene for yourself while
Hmm.
elevating yourself on a state level and a national level
Yeah.
at the same time. It was a lot of multitasking we had to do, and a lot of lumps we had to take along the way. And a lot of people just weren't. And I'm not trying to talk bad about the cats who were with me for the time they were with me, because they definitely served their purpose.
Yeah.
And without the people along the way, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Let's say that first. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Understand.
And there's some people that got some bad mind things, and there's some bad mind dealings, and some things I could, you know what I mean? We could have a whole nother segment about
Hmm.
the bad stuff that's happened to me,
Yeah.
but I'm still here, so it don't really matter. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but those guys serve their purpose, but as you grow and level up, they just kind of fall off by the wayside because life happens. Either their own personal ambitions don't align with the mission anymore.
Yes.
Life events happen. Health things happen. Their own careers and life channels, you know what I'm saying? They just start feeling it anymore. Whatever it is, after a while, people just don't serve the purpose of the mission if they're not built for it. This isn't for someone who's weak-minded and weak-hearted
Hmm.
and doesn't have the perseverance to see the whole of the picture. Because you can get mired in, I guess, the right now,
Hmm.
and sometimes just like the begrudging drudgery of it all. You know what I mean? You're just kind of miring through the muck, you know what I mean, if you will. You know what I mean? And it's you can get lost if you don't keep things in perspective.
Yeah.
Um, but right now, I knew I had to go younger
Hmm.
because younger means more energetic. Younger means better aesthetically as far as the presentation of the band. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And just the enthusiasm and the want to, if you will. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
want to go play. So I knew I had to go younger when I had to go replace this band. I had to like. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't prepared for it because I can see things coming just from my experience. But the whole band, I would tell you, just fell apart in February.
Oh, really? Okay.
I played a show at Little Washington Theater and damn near sold it out. After the fact, my bass player just kind of rolled out on me.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna give him no fame. If there's anybody I can speak terribly about, like they can do a whole segment and I can just throw this man through the bus and not feel no type of way about it whatsoever. My drummer was from Jamaica as well. He had to go back home for some visa issues to get it renewed before he came back.
Hmm.
Those two were like this, so I said, you know what, if he's leaving, he's gonna come back. It's gonna be a conflict of interest. You just stay there.
Hmm.
So I lost him. My keyboard player is the only one that I'm kind of like feeling away about. He got ill. He had some personal health issues going on,
Yeah.
so we had to go home, and he can't leave the area. And
Hmm.
he's a little older, you know what I mean. So he can't go on the road with us anymore. So I lost him. I basically lost my whole band. February 24th of this year, it was just me and my guitarist.
Right. So aren't you about to go back on the road
Yep,
in short order, right?
yep. Actually Thursday.
So how on Thursday? Okay.
Leaving Thursday.
How far are you traveling?
We're going all over the country. We're going. Our first stop's in Winston Salem, North Carolina, and then we're going to Avon, North Carolina, and the Outer Banks. Then we'll play
Okay.
a festival Saturday in Wilmington,
Right.
and then we'll travel Monday and Tuesday and be in Phoenix by Wednesday. Probably Santa Fe by Wednesday.
Okay.
New Mexico, then we'll be in Phoenix Thursday. We got to backtrack just because the routing wasn't perfect. Got to be
Hmm.
back in Santa Fe on Thursday. Then we have to go to, it's like a 17-hour drive to California, Northern California, we'll be in Mariposa. Then I think Nevada City, California. Then we'll be in Nevada for a little bit, get a couple of days off to rest. Then we'll be in Salt Lake City, then through Colorado, South Dakota.
You're the most traveled entertainer that
A
I
week in
personally know.
Texas. Appreciate you,
That's
man.
that's great, man. So I've always wanted to ask you about this. Who's managing these trips around the country?
Oh, it's a collaborative effort, man. Honestly, it's between the musicians who obviously not volunteer, but set aside their time to do the works.
Hmm.
Um, my management has been very good to me. Me and my manager, Tara, work very closely together. But like I said, me being at the top, everything does go through me. But my bad, everything does go through me. But we're very good as far as like working alongside one another to get these things in order. And we have a label in Florida, Prana Music Group, that kind of helps us out
Okay.
on a non-compete status or whatever, this and that. So it's a lot of hands in the pot that really helps it. But really, it's just me and my manager spending a whole lot of time on the phone and on the computer making these things work while simultaneously making the music, rehearsing the music,
Yeah.
and making it right. And like I said, the band's already straight now. We got a new lineup. Eric Arnoldson on guitar. That's the guy that's been with me for like the past 3 years. My man Alex Pulaski on bass now. Got a Russian guy on bass, man.
Oh yeah,
He's
a Russian guy
assimilated in.
playing reggae.
He's assimilated himself in the Jamaican culture so quick, man, and you can't tell the difference.
How long has
Honestly,
he been in
about
this?
2.5 months, honestly.
Really?
Those three guys, like I said, from February 24th on to now, I revamped the whole thing. Got John Merritt on keys, very dynamic with the keys. And I got we keep the authentic Jamaican sound because Amani Williams is on the drums.
Mm-hmm.
He's from his family's from Jeffersonton.
Yeah.
His mother's side of the family. His father,
Jefferson is a part of Culpeper,
Big
Virginia.
J. You know what I'm saying?
for those of you
who don't know.
in my DJ Envy voice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So his dad actually is drummer Zeb, who played for the Whalers for like 12 years.
Okay.
He also played for Kenny Chesney. The biggest bands in Virginia right now have something to do with that family. Okay. And it's crazy. I was just looking at it the other day. His youngest brother, Asante, plays with his group Space Boy that's just getting up on the road up and down the East Coast. His oldest brother, Nico, plays with People's Blues of Richmond. They tour nationally, you know what I'm saying, on a scale not like us. But then we're, like now, and I have no other, like, humble way to say this, we're like the flagship now as far as, like, the most traveled and the most far and wide. Like, people across the country don't have a understanding of this area except for by meeting us. So we try to represent them people, you know what I mean, in a positive light to where, I made it like from sports. It's like, wherever you go, you got to represent your brand and this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I always try to put that to the band members. Don't be acting like this. Don't be acting like that. We preach those things too as professionalism first because we come across fans and people. It's the representation of this state, this region, the culture. All they know is us.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it, our proximity to Charlottesville, Virginia, they think this whole area, they just think Charlottesville, and people think that's how it is out here, which is not.
Because that's the only thing that made the national news.
That's right.
It's
not really a representation of how it is where we
not
are.
At all.